I'm really happy that he decided to show up and be a part of this whole whatever experiment I'm doing. What I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I'm doing? Probably not. That's okay. But today I wanted to introduce this magical human being because I've spent some time with him, which is a little bit of a cheat. I'm cheating a little bit because I like to take on individuals that I don't know much about and then just kind of jump into their heart and their life and just see where they are and have them explain to us where they came from and how they became the person they became. So I'm cheating a little bit because I do know Derek. I've known him for a few months. We've done Rocky Horror Show together, and he's inspired me to do some great things with my body, with my mind, making knives, things of that nature. So he is familiar to me. So today I'm going to focus on trying to share that familiarity and the love that I already have with him, with you guys, with everybody, because I think he's a swell individual. Like I said, bodybuilder, blacksmith, actor, firearms expert, and just those are like the four things that just come to mind right now. He's super cool. So hopefully we get to cover a whole bunch of those things. Hey, Derek, what's up, baby?
Going on, buddy?
Well, I guess nothing's going on because we're all locked up inside our house. So how's
Right.
that been?
Uh, it's been a trip, man. Getting a lot of stuff done around the house, but that's about it. Going a little stir crazy, got to be honest.
Hey, I mean that's why we have this, a little online communication going on. I've been really enjoying just connecting with people and chatting with them.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I hear you 100%. Like I'm sitting here just getting so much shit done. Like I've worked on your knife. I haven't
Have
finished it.
you?
I've worked on. Oh yeah, I've
You
worked on
haven't.
your knife.
Let's see it. I don't know if they can see it. I don't know
I'll
if.
show you.
All right. And he's gone. Where'd he go?
I don't know how much detail you're gonna see in this, but let's see. Let's see. I don't know. Damn.
Oh, it's coming along.
It's coming along. I was rubbing on it for quite a while, and then I figured my next step I want to do more. I don't know, maybe like power tools, because there's few bumps and notches that are just stupid. Or I think I need to take it down a grain because I think the ones that you gave me they're a little too high. So I think I'm gonna have to scratch up a little bit more in order to get it polished up. Because there's a few holes that I was sitting there polishing for like 3 hours nonstop, didn't do nothing, didn't do a
Oh yeah.
thing.
Well, that.
So yeah, I need to take it up a notch and say yeah it's pretty, but we gotta restart it a little bit, which is fine, which is fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's been on hold on a second because we've been just re restructuring literally everything around the house, around the yard, around the shop. Like we're trying to organize the shop to be just a Home Depot, man. Just show up. Here's the tool. Freaking pick it up, put it away, use it, or then put it back. So it's all organized. Because right now, it's not that. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that it is not that.
No, I feel you on that one, man. My shop is in disarray right now.
Yeah, and whew, it's been bugging me for a long time. So I'm just focusing on a whole bunch of that stuff. So then when it is all organized, I can be like, oh, time to put my knife down here. Time to take this tool that's exactly where it's supposed to be.
Right. Got it all outlined and everything, all
Dude,
pretty.
that's what I want. Yeah, I want to outline it, just like duct tape it or some shit, and just label it
Yep.
whatever this thing is.
Right.
Handsaw, pop saw. I don't even know if that's a thing. I got so much shit in there. I don't even know what half of those things are.
All of them are called Andre saw or
Andre,
Psyche.
Psyche Saw 1, Psyche Saw 2. Hey, Andre, what's the Psyche Saw? Fuck if I know, never used it, but I got it.
Got one. Do you know what it is? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, do you know, can you tell me what it is? Maybe we can figure it out. Maybe you use something.
Right.
But yeah, it's been an incredibly prolific time, honestly, like making so many things. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so this has been fun. That's why I want to focus on you. So, Derek, tell me some things. How did you end up, here? Just maybe even a quick overview. Like it's 2020, I'm sure you're like what 30 years old or something.
Yeah.
What has been the journey up until this point? Where were you born? How did that begin? Your childhood, maybe middle age, and then like, what are the things that kind of influence you to becoming this burly, hairy man who strikes metal and acts and dances and sings and all these extravagant embodiment of the soul, because he seems like you have a nice combination of both the masculine and the feminine. Can you touch
Oh
on
sure.
that?
Well, for one, the hairiness is because I'm rocking the COVID beard. I've fully embraced this situation we're in and figure there's no reason to shave, and so why shave? It'll be fun. We'll see where it goes. Uh, no, I was born in Oregon. Moved to Washington when I was about 6 years old. Spent my whole life in a small little mill town until college, where I went off to go study acting because I got deep into acting. I started in 8th grade and got real deep into it about my junior year with a show called The Survivor,
Hmm.
which was a Holocaust show, and worked with, to this day, some of the most brilliant actors I've ever worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't say enough about them. They were all amazing, and they showed me what the craft could be and how you could actually uh, move move other people, even as we were 15, 16-year-old kids making full-on adults cry,
Oh.
full-on bawl. And that just really touched me. So I decided to make acting my life choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I went off to school to study acting, spent 2 years down at Southern Oregon University. Then left for Greece to study acting a little more. Spent a couple months over there to study it in the birthplace of modern civilization. And came back, decided Southern Oregon wasn't the best choice for me, and finished up my degree in at Lower Columbia College with another phenomenal director named Don Carell,
Mm-hmm.
who was a masterclass actor for the UW.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, went on pursuing acting, got out of it for a couple of years, came back. Um, and that's the story of my pursuit of theater and how I
Mm-hmm.
continue to go back and forth into it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the other stuff, I've been a lifelong hunter, lifelong weapons enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
So right before I left for Greece, my dad bought me a knife making class as kind of a going away gift. And that was 2008, and I've been just making knives, banging metal ever since. And it pays the bills. So
Hey, banging metal, man. I mean, that's the most metal thing I've heard. Rock on.
right.
That's pretty awesome. And yeah, like the things that I've seen, especially something I saw you made for. Who'd you make it for? Did you make it for Hunter? I think.
Yeah, Hunter. Yeah.
Oh God, what a cool freaking knife, man! And the things that you've been mentioning to me when we were working on knives, like it's something to be proud of, honestly. And it's not a skill that at least I personally see around in the world, just hanging around. I don't see many blacksmiths.
No, it's pretty rare anymore. You talk to somebody and they're all, oh, I'm a nurse, which nothing against any of this. I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm in finance or something. You say
Mm-hmm.
you're a blacksmith and all of a sudden people don't know how to react.
Yeah, eyebrows perk ups like, hmm?
As a hobby? No, that's what I do. That's how I make my money.
That's so cool. Can you tell us a little bit more about just like I don't know the process of a blacksmith? Like what kind of got you into it? What do you find in that process? Because I know it's I could sit here and say, oh, you just take metal, you put it in the fire, you bang it out, and boom, you have a knife, right?
I
Very
mean,
general, obviously. Can you go into the
you're
depths
not
of it?
far off on a basic level.
Yeah.
Stick metal into a fire and
Mm-hmm.
get it hot and bang it around. I like to tell people that you're playing with really, really hot silly putty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of my equivalent is
Mm-hmm.
you can mold silly putty, you can mold metal, you're just doing it at a little
Mm-hmm.
higher effort level, swinging a hammer and things like that. I am by no means a bladesmith master. If you want to see some of those, you got your Owen Bushes and your Kyle Royers of the world who are just phenomenal, and they spent their life pursuing their craft. And one day it would be nice to get up to their level, but yeah, it's a lifelong pursuit. You
Mm-hmm.
never stop learning, just like any other craft. My favorite part, I kind of specialize in making wedding knives for people, and I love the symbolism behind a wedding knife. Cake cutting knives for anyone who doesn't know what a wedding knife is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I like the fact that I'm building something that will be passed down from generation to generation, and it's gonna outlive me. Like
Mm-hmm.
that steel is gonna live longer than I am, and if the marriage survives, then that was a representation of the day that it was solidified. So I when I make my knives, every knife has a story. No two knives are the same, and I like to put in things that are representative of the couple themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
whether if they're religious, I've put in olive wood as a symbolization of extending the olive branch in your marriage. Just I love symbolism, and in my craft, you can both of my crafts, acting and blacksmithing,
Mm-hmm.
you can play with that just as much as you want.
Amen. So how does your expression, maybe through acting, through your knife making, how does that what fuels it? What's behind it? What's the passion, and what are you trying to accomplish through these means of expression?
Oh, hell if I know.
Hell if I know. Just take
Oh,
one day at a time.
one day at a time. Acting, it's literally the ability to step in someone else's shoes and be someone for an hour, for 2 hours, just completely different from yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like playing characters that are like me. I like playing someone who's completely and utterly different because it requires me to understand other people better.
Mm-hmm.
So I may not like the person on stage, but I got to find reasons why I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to play up those reasons and find their motivations behind it. So that's it. It just expands my mind to understanding a lot
more. Wow. I mean, honestly, it's a very, very pure almost, just like, hey, here's where I am. And honestly, I can connect with that deeply because, like watching shows, my mom loves music shows. So she'll watch, what's it called? Like American Idol or The Voice. And I'll sit there, I'm just like, this is like my life. I don't care about this. Like, cool. This is what I live every single day. I need if I need to relax, I need to take myself out and, I'll watch like, homicide shows or like right now I've been watching Lucifer, so I'm just sitting there, it's like, this is so out of my scope of life. Like, it can bring me ease. So
yeah.
I hear that with you too. It's like, why would I play myself? Like, sure, I understand myself enough. I think there is always an infinite possibility of exploring oneself, but you do that through the exploration of other people and through I guess, the question of like, why do I feel this way when this individual is inside of me in that sense? Or what kind of emotions do I feel when this kind of, I don't know, narrative is proposed to me, right? And yeah, like for me, it's the same thing. It's like you kind of find a love for everybody in that case because, you just sit there, sure, here's a character and I'm playing him and he's got these objectives, right, that he has to fulfill, and without him the story couldn't move forward. And yeah, maybe I feel like a douche right now, but without this douche, this amazing production couldn't take place.
No bad guy ever thinks he's the bad guy. That's the big, so I love playing bad guys. It's fun. And then I love messing with my cast a little bit and trying to convince them on the sidelines that I'm like, no, this character's right. Like, what he believes is absolutely correct. And I did that I played Curly in Of Mice and Men not long ago. And I have a full thing of how Curly's actually the good guy in the entire show. And everyone else is the bad guy. And yeah, basically all he wants to do is make up with his wife and no one's allowing him to. And then a guy kills his wife. So what are you going to do?
What a dick.
So his wife's going to probably be pretty mad. And everyone thinks that Curly's the bad guy for wanting to kill Lenny. If you know the show, sorry, spoilers. But yeah, if someone killed your wife, you'd probably want to go after him too.
Amen. And that's what it is. It's like, it's so easy to pick one character to I don't know, to embody as a viewer, right? It's like, oh, that's obviously the protagonist. I'm gonna think that I am him, But you have the ability to take your conscience, say, hey, I'm gonna identify as the bad guy and see how he thinks, or as the sidelines person, or the wife, or this, that, the other thing, and say, what is the story from their perspective? And then yeah, it's like you said. If I'm a guy, and whatever, I'm pretty sure Larry's the mentally handicapped one, right?
Oh, Lenny, yeah.
Lenny, yeah. And then he's like, whatever. He's there. He's feeling things. Things get taken away from him. He's going to get angry. How are you going to respond to that anger? Maybe we've had time to process that anger, and we know how to use it constructively. But from his perspective, he feels these things. He has no other way to express them. Yeah, he's going to go fucking kill you. You just killed my wife. I'm going to kill you. That makes sense. That makes sense. So no, I'm with you 100%. And I think one of the biggest examples of that is, like, at least for me personally, because I've been really into Marvel lately, is just what Thanos, right? Sits there and he's destroying half of the fucking universe.
Oh
But for
There's a
what
like
reason?
subculture of Thanos was right, you know.
Yeah.
And if you follow his logic, if you actually listen to his logic, it tracks.
Yeah.
Not something I necessarily want to agree with, but it tracks pretty good.
Exactly. He's like, hey man, I mean, we gotta thrive, and there's not enough room to thrive. We gotta make sure to, death is a part of life, and I'll help that. You're not ready to make that decision. Fine, y'all weak. I'll take it upon myself. I will live with the burden of
Yep.
making your lives better. So you sit
Yep.
there and be like, damn, he's not evil. He's not saying, haha, I'm gonna fucking kill everybody because y'all shit. He's like, no man, I love everybody, and I'm sorry half of y'all can't be here for everybody else to be cool. You know. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I love that.
Did it in the most merciful way too. It's just
Right?
come out of existence.
Boom, you're gone. No pain, no nothing. It's a heroic thing. But
You know,
yes, I agree. It's
from one perspective, it's not one that I want to agree with. You
yeah.
know, from a certain perspective, yeah, absolutely. That Star Wars line, find a lot of our truths come from a certain point of view.
Mm-hmm.
In Return of the Jedi, which just had to watch because May the 4th.
Ah, yes, yes.
You can find a lot of philosophies in movies, and it's wonderful.
Dude, well, yeah, hero's journey is inscribed into every story that we can hear or we can watch, and that's why it works. Is because there is this evolution of the human spirit and evolution of the mind, and like what is actually happening here. You can look into any movie, into any story on a deeper level, and put yourself there and say, like, okay, what's happening there?
Right.
But that's where I urge everybody to be careful, right? Because like you said, logic. You can sit here and logic anything, reason anything into making sense. Even Thanos killing half of the world, or Lenny killing somebody else. You can sit there in their mind and make it make sense. But is that the best decision that you can make?
Right.
Reason is dangerous.
Reason's very
Yeah.
dangerous.
Like I know I've reasoned myself into believing things in the past, and I'm just like that made sense.
No,
Like
that's why in the Greek mythology, that's why Zeus hid the fire of knowledge from humanity for so long, because reason is dangerous.
is reason the expand on that.
So it's an old Greek myth, and I'll have to look it up. I can't remember who stole the fire from Zeus.
Prometheus, I believe. Wasn't it Prometheus?
I think it was Prometheus. Yeah, I think you're right. But he stole Zeus's fire, or stole fire from Zeus, which was the fire of knowledge, and he gave it to man, and then was forever punished because Zeus, Zeus gets angry in Greek mythology, and all of Greek mythology is Zeus getting angry.
Yeah.
But basically, it was an idea of protecting man from themselves because of exactly what we're talking about, of reason and logic. And you can find any reason or logic to do some really terrible things, which for Zeus, that's the pot calling the kettle black, because he does some terrible things in Greek mythology. But that's essentially the story, is they go and steal the fires of knowledge to give it back to the people.
So this is a great transition that has been on my mind. So what do you think of, like, our government in this case, right? Because it's basically the same thing. We have freedom, which I'd love to hear what your definition of freedom is. And then, we're living here in the land of the free, but is it truly free? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll preface this by saying I'm not an economist. I'm not anything like that. So there's a lot of things that I don't know that are going on. What scares me about our situation right now with our government is the precedent that's being set. We're giving away a lot of rights just on the basis of someone saying, national or global emergency. Here you go. You make the decision for us. Well, once they have that power, there's pretty much no time in history where once the situation is over, once whatever the threat was is over, that they've gone, okay, here you go. You have everything back. There's always something changing there. So I'm worried about what precedent is being set of next time there's a bad thing, or next time someone wants to say there's a bad thing, all they have to say is emergency, give up your rights. And it scares me a little bit of how easily we did it. Now, I think it was the right decision in this particular time, but I'm afraid of the ripples that it's going to have in the future.
Amen.
How easily people just kind of laid down and said, okay, here you go. And now again, I want to say, in this particular situation, I think stay at home and all that is correct. But we've now opened a door that will never be closed.
I definitely think that there's an interesting scenario taking place. I like 100%, right? Like my understanding now of politics is a little bit different. You know, like with being in theater, right, and acting and being a musician and all of these things, right? It made me understand that even politics, it's an act. You know, it's a show. It's WWE, man. It's happening for the people to think like that the government is doing something. You know, we're making change. Things are happening. We're pushing peace or whatever the fuck is going on, right? But
not put on emotions in order to get someone to do something.
Exactly, and yeah, and all this debate and all of this nonsense, right? So, but in what, like you said it right now, that's all good, just in the background. But you come to a place where you actually need to make a decision, where it's like, okay, we need to do something now. Then what happens? One guy makes a decision, whoever that one guy is, and now he's the king. Like this is what we've been straying from for how many years?
Yep,
you know, when Russia had kings and everything, you know.
Oh yeah.
So it's like this is exactly the same point, and then we're living in a I don't know what kind of society you call this, what kind of government, liberty government, I don't know, but you know it's a joke.
Yeah, no, we are a democratic republic is what we're supposed to be.
See, a democratic republic, right? And that's what we are, and we're based on, you know, just the thought of we can solve things through conversation, right? We can always find a middle ground, but you can't always find a middle ground. There's always sometimes
happen like that.
Yeah,
you have to react.
Exactly. So it's like I think we're living in a delusional fantasy where we were portraying to the people that hey, everything's fine, everything's good, but again, we have somebody there that's like he's the king. And he gets to make a decision. And if we have a king, guess what? We don't have anything to do with that. So either we have to be aligned with the king's views, whoever the king is, right? So we're all on the same page. Be like, hey, king, you got me, right? And he's like, yeah, I got you. I'm doing this for you. Or he's doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, and we have no power over it. And we're just like, well, looks like I'm a freaking slave. You know?
Well, I mean, for every decision, there's going to be the naysayer who says there's something bad, right? Every single time. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're Obama or Trump or whatever. There's always going to be the guy who goes, nah, that guy's an idiot. So I will say, to quote another podcaster that I love to listen to, that we live currently in the best time it is to be a human. Like, hands down, our problems aren't that bad. And then this virus essentially kind of was a little wake-up call going, hey, guys, things can still go south, all right? So the things you're complaining about really aren't that bad when your neighbor's dying or when crops are going to hell and we got murder hornets coming through, you know, all that kind of crap. So it was a wake-up call in my mind to a lot of things that were great, and hopefully we get again.
I completely agree.
That things weren't completely taken away. You know what I'm saying?
True. I also think like this is a perfect opportunity for us to sit down and say, all right, what was working and what wasn't working, and let's make sure we don't go back to that, because we can make things better. We can always make things better. And instead of just taking, you know, just kind of riding it out, you know, just again, go to work, do whatever you need to do, come back, drink, eat, sleep, repeat it over again, right? Now that we are sitting in this event where it's making us question our state of being, our state of life, and the way that things are even functioning, we can sit here and unite using, you know, internet, right? This is perfect. Everybody's been doing this, and say, hey, what is it that we want? How do we want to take care of the people? Maybe the people who aren't so well off in the world, right? It's like, you know, you and we're freelancers. You're going to school. Like, how are we taking care of us? How are we taking care of the elderly? How are we taking care of the people who are the essential workers, right? Who are putting their fucking lives on the line, right? If we're going to take the virus seriously and how deadly it is and how bad it is, right? These fuckers are out there putting their life on the line, like more so than police officers right now, because it's just like it's everywhere. They have to deal with people every moment, and they're getting paid fucking nothing. Like, if I was in their position, which, you know, I chose this life and I'm dealing with it. If I was in their position, I'd be like, yo, you either fucking pay me or I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, this is my health. I'm not doing this. I don't gamble.
they definitely deserve something better, and they've deserved something better for a lot of years. I mean, anytime you're a health worker or a teacher or something like that, you're responsible for somebody else's future on a level that other people aren't,
Hmm.
and they don't get the credit they deserve, and they definitely don't get the pay they deserve.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not a person who wants to deal with bodily fluids on a day-to-day basis, even before the virus. And now that literally breathing the same air as somebody can kill you and your family if you go home, yeah, that's some hazard pay right there that should be taken into account.
That is, it's real, and I mean that, and I even mean the McDonald's worker too, because they're sitting there busting their ass too. It's not a hard job. I would never say it's a hard job, but it's a job that people are requiring right now. It's like, okay, you need me to do something, you fucking pay me so I can survive and sustain myself, you know. And that, like, for me, that's where a lot of clarity came through. Like when we all got our little what relief check, right? 1,200 bucks,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, cool. And then you think to yourself, like, why is it 1,200 bucks? And then, you know, you break it down, and that's basically the minimum wage federal minimum wage for a month of work, right? So how many people are getting this check and saying, wow, you can't live off this 1,200 bucks? How many people can actually live off that? Yet half of the country, making up that statistic right now, is living on that normally all the time, because that's their job, you know.
A good percentage, yeah.
Yeah, so it's insanity. So I'm hopefully, from my perspective at least, people are getting to put themselves into other people's shoes, like we are talking about in acting, into an individual that is not like them, that is living a completely different lifestyle, and being forced to survive in that way that they're not used to. So it's like, maybe now they'll have a better appreciation for the, you know, just the humanity of it all, the interconnectedness. It's like, hey, before they were them, and now they are us, and we're us, and this isn't the kind of the thing that I want me or somebody else to kind of live through.
Sure.
And if that thought process doesn't happen, well, I don't know what, I don't know, I just don't know.
One good thing about this virus is I've seen some wonderful examples of compassion and humanity from people that I hadn't been seeing before, because people were on their autopilot through their life, and a monkey wrench got thrown into it. They didn't know how to react, and all of a sudden, I've been talking to people that I haven't talked to in years, just because
Mm.
they, they were bored and at home, and all of a sudden I'm able to talk to them. Where people reaching out just to say what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. It's nice to get back a little bit to, oh, these people were important to me before.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to keep them in my life, and like I don't want to forget that when things get back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep it still,
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to people and still having fun.
I agree. Like this, or like the Zoom and the Skype and all these things that have become like a lot more prevalent. You know, they have opened up a communication field that's a lot easier to accomplish. You know, you don't got to drive anywhere. I don't got to drive anywhere, and we
Right.
can have a good interaction. Like right now, you and I are just chatting about stuff. You know, it's a podcast. Ooh, hello, Birdie. But you know, like a couple days ago, I got in here with, like, you know, six or seven of my friends. We turned on Jackbox TV like we did, you know, at Hunter's house or wherever, Thanksgiving time. You know, just sat there and played freaking Aliens and drawing stuff, whatever Jackbox game we picked.
It's a ton of fun.
You know, yeah, and it's like that has been always available, but we've never put a focus onto it to maintain that interconnectedness, you know, through the internet. And now I feel like we got to level up. The internet almost got to level up, because we're using it for means of actual, like, connection rather than just, you know, distraction.
It's a supplementation for connection, but it's never going to replace human to human contact. Like, I like to make the joke that having a date over Zoom is kind of like, comparing real sex to porn.
Okay.
You can watch porn, but it's not the same as having real sex.
Well, I mean, I would disagree with that, because I just had a date on Zoom, right? I was doing a little date on Adult Swim, which it was hilarious. But you know, just like I get it. You know, there's physical contact. There are certain parts that are missing from.
There's energies and stuff. Especially, we've been doing a lot of Zoom rehearsals for shows that I'm in, and there's just an energy thing that's missing, a connection that just can't be supplemented through talking to a computer.
Uh, I, I do agree with that. There is something missing, like something physical, right? Just being in the room and just allowing that, I don't know,
Yes.
your energy, your magnetic field to just interact with each other, you know. But at the same time, I think you can still develop, like long-lasting relationships that will eventually need to lead to a physical
Oh, I'm not
interaction.
saying that it's not a good way of developing
Hmm.
relationships. I'm just saying it's not the same.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
face to face is always going to be better. And hopefully we get back to that one day, you know?
I,
Or,
I agree with that. I 100% agree. It is not the same. In-person communication is always much more potent. I completely
absolutely.
agree with that. But if we don't have that, this is still a good way to go
Wow.
about it. And even if we do have that, this is a good beginning if you wanted to just like be like,
Oh, it
all
beats
right.
the hell out of the text message.
Oh God, I fucking hate text messages so much.
I hate them so
Oh
much.
my God, I hate text
Texting is
messages.
the bane of my existence.
Oh, me too, man. Like I've been trying to talk to people, and they'll start texting me, and I'm just like, ugh. Voice message straight away is like, hey, I'm not about to text you. I can talk. Let me just talk to you real quick. See, like in a minute, I can say a whole bunch of nothing, but at least you'll feel like I said something to you.
Texting for me is for like, hey, you want to meet for coffee? Yes. Or no. It's the notes that you passed in middle school. That's what it should be. You don't need
Amen.
to write novels, and you don't need to be implying like, well, what do you mean by that? I don't know. I don't understand. Emoji, question mark, hashtag, whatever.
Amen, dude. Amen. It's like if you have something to say, just say it. If you want to text, be like, yeah, I'm meeting you outside your house in 5 minutes. Cool, cool,
Nope.
awesome.
That's all I want to
That's
tell.
it.
That's all I want. And I've got friends that disagree with me on that wholeheartedly.
And that's okay. That's why I don't text those friends.
Nope.
Like, hey, I'm gonna call you.
I text them, but then almost on a weekly basis, it'll always be like, well, what do you mean by that? No, I don't. There was
Hello.
no implication. It was just. I remember one time. This was a long time ago. I was auditioning for a movie, and I had a friend come to the audition with me,
Hmm.
and she got cast as the lead role right off the bat. And she texted me, going, "Oh my God, I got the lead. This is great." I hadn't heard yet whether or not I had gotten cast or anything,
Hmm.
and so I sent her back. Cool, that's awesome. She goes, "Yeah, isn't it great?" Yep. What's wrong? Why are you angry with me? I'm not. What are you talking about? So I immediately call her up. I'm like, I'm so excited for you. What? Oh, you just seemed like you weren't excited. How does cool, that's amazing, not sound good?
Hmm. I think some people, yeah, they expect a whole what's the word? Not parentheses.
A novel.
Sentence. Yeah, just a whole freaking novel. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so great. Type, 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 type. Which I'm cool with that if I have a purpose for it. But
Sure.
at the same time, if I want to explode with excitement, I'm not gonna contain them with these fingers. I'm gonna explode with excitement. Here you
Exactly.
go. And you don't know where people are in their minds. Maybe they're busy with shit. So it's like I always give people the benefit of the doubt, and I hope they do the same thing for me, even when I disappear for months and months and months, not talk to anybody, and then like, hey, what's up? Yeah,
Try to hope. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, that's what I found through art and through just that expression. Just acting, like you were talking about. Just understand that we're all going through our own thing, and we're all dealing with our own demons or just whatever life we're living. Like it has its own weight, and I know that is the most important thing that should be the most important thing in an individual's life, because no one's going to take care of my shit, no one's going to take care of your shit except for you.
Yep.
So you have to put yourself first, and then when you have time, then you can go out and say, hey friends, hey acquaintances, hey business people, whatever the hell you talk to, like,
Right.
I'm here, I'm available, let's talk. And then when things get too heavy again, you got to retract, like we are now. You got to go inside and make sure that you are stable and you can continue to evolve and interact with the world in a positive way rather than depleting yourself and just bleeding all over people.
Oh yeah, no. My problems are my problems, but and I'll share them if people care enough to ask, but I'm not gonna put them on
Hmm.
people when they don't inquire about them essentially, or if the time's not right.
I
There's just
completely agree.
uh, you know, I don't want to put my pain on you, and I'm not gonna expect you to help me.
Hmm.
Now, a good buddy of mine has a good philosophy. His name's Travis Barrage. I should put you two in touch to get him on for meeting a truly awesome human being.
Hmm.
put you in touch for this podcast. But he had a philosophy, and it's resonated with me since high school. Of anytime you're invited out, you go out, because it's always the times that you didn't go that you wish you would have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always stuck with me. And even if I'm not feeling it that night, some of the best nights I've ever had were nights that I was like, no, I want to stay in and, just sleep. Someone invites me out, and I'm like, oh, this was an amazing night. I managed to find a random club under a restaurant in Rome because of one of those nights,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, yeah, follow that philosophy, and it will help pull you out of some dark times.
Mm-hmm.
Just
It's like that movie, Yes Man.
it's exactly like that movie. Yes, man. Yeah.
So let's see what happens, man. And spontaneity is a beautiful quality to practice and to have fun with. Most definitely, I'm still a proponent of make a good decision for yourself,
Well, yeah.
but you have to be smart about it. But definitely, if you've been hiding away from the world, it's like, dude, just take this. If you're afraid or anything, just take this philosophy and then run with it. Because it'll give you a lot of excitement, a lot of interesting times. That's fun. Let's see. You said something I wanted to focus on, and then it runs away. My mind. It's like a train. It just keeps going. You get me so enveloped into your stories, and I'm just like,
Well, we
yes.
tangent quite a bit. Anytime we've hung out together, it's gone on. We've solved the world's problems 1,000 times over.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. I wish we would have written it down.
Right.
Wish we would have written it down. That's so funny. So I'd want to know, with the acting and with creativity and with whatever that's going on in your life, like where do you see yourself going? Like, what do you want to, I don't know, how do you want to build your life in the future that encompasses or uses your skills, or what do you want it to get from it? What do you want to get from it right now?
Couldn't tell you. Right now, I just want to get back on a stage. That's my short-term goal. I want to do my rehearsals face to face rather than over a Zoom meeting. But man, I don't know. I gave up control a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the time where I was in the corporate cubicle, all that kind of stuff, and it was very secure. And it was, looking back, it was very easy. But it's trying to maintain a level of control on that level is just an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I kind of just throw it up, and I make, I keep myself safe. I make certain plans to not, tomorrow go completely bankrupt. But other than that, I don't have any plans, because it's when I open myself up to things is when I've met the greatest people and when I've done the coolest stuff, and I get really neat stories out of it.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. So how do you do that then? Like, how did you get to that mentality and just kind of let it flow? And how do you move between days when you just kind of let it flow?
Well, I don't know. Like yesterday, I woke up and I was supposed to be doing some computer work, and it was just a beautiful day outside, and I couldn't stand taking the day inside on my computer, so I went outside and built 2 gardens in my backyard. And well, on a day-to-day, I think that the key is, make sure you eat something so you got your head on your shoulders, and then maintain a certain level of physical fitness to where anytime someone asks you to do something, your body's not what's going to hold you back from doing it. So like getting out and building a garden, or I told you before we got on here about that hunt that I'm going on. I got invited on that. Just hopefully get out there and, have the level of physical fitness to hike 15 miles a day with a 80-pound pack on your back,
That sounds like heaven, honestly.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly with, just kind of, stay physically active, because, again, the brain is it needs those hormones, just that being active produces, and then, the feel-good hormones, and you can go out there and actually do something with yourself. So that's why I just the sun. Oh, just look at it. Just look at it.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's why I like to just, I like to do a little conversation, maybe noonish, and then go out there and just kind of, start digging or start making things, or moving things, because,
Hmm.
yeah, you and I are very similar in that aspect. We don't make too much plans for the future, because, like, what's the point? It's like
Nah, I tried to plan it out, and then a monkey wrench gets thrown in, just like COVID did for everybody. And I
yeah,
think it's going to be a little bit more live in the moment now, just because you don't know if literally tomorrow your secure job is declared non-essential
mm-hmm,
and you don't have it anymore.
yep. Which is where my song comes in, here and now, where I sing about, can't promise you tomorrow, because tomorrow's, yeah, it's like either you die, either, yeah, this pandemic can come and just tear everything apart. Like, you can not, like, yeah, security is the biggest illusion that we attach ourselves to. And if we just let it go and just like, all right, here's where I am. How do I reach for the best feeling state? How do I reach for something that will maybe me feel proud, productive, interested, enveloped into something, expressive, if I can reach for that every
Nope.
single day, like, a life gets built that's
No, I
just
think I changed
gorgeous.
philosophy. You were asking where it came from
Mm-hmm.
just a few minutes ago. I
Yes.
think I came to that philosophy when I started working as a firearms instructor,
Mm.
because I can be better than 99% of people, but it only takes one guy who catches me off guard, and I will have nothing to say about it,
Mm.
and that's just going to be the end. So I came to that like, okay, deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ideologically, quite a while ago. If someone wants me gone, I'm going to be gone,
Mm-hmm.
and whether that's nature or God or a random person, if
Mm-hmm.
someone wants me gone, there's not much I can do about it.
Talk to me about death. How do you feel about death?
I have no control, so why worry about it?
That's so beautiful.
I mean, I don't want it by any means. I want to keep on living and keep on having new experiences and
Mm-hmm.
sharing random stories with crazy guys on podcasts. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I, like I said, if it happens, it happens. I don't chase it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't desire it, but I'm not afraid of it.
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful, and I think that's one of the biggest steps that you can make to living a full life. Because even though, yeah, nobody's chasing death. I mean, maybe there are people who chase death for whatever reasons, but yeah, as long as you see it in, I mean, as a part of life, and that exists, and you
Yeah,
say, yeah, it'll come eventually, and when it comes, I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere, and just
right.
accept that instead of just tremble in fear, because too many people tremble in fear, and that's why there is a lot of control that can
Well, it's
be
because it's
out
a
of the
true
way.
mystery, you know.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's what it is. Like, for me, it's like, first of all, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like,
No,
none of us know. We just sit there and project. Oh no,
if you
death.
if you pretend to know, then well, you can't. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can believe, and
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Faith
Mm-hmm.
is a great thing. Whether your faith is that we become worm food
Mm-hmm.
or that you go to some sort of afterlife, but you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't know.
It's the ultimate mystery.
Yep.
The French call an orgasm le petit mort or something like that. I think I just made that up. But they call the orgasm the little death. So imagine the big death.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the big death. What is the biggest orgasm of your life, man? What if it's the greatest sensation you've ever felt entirely? We don't
Who knows?
know. We
We
don't
don't know.
fucking know.
Might be a nice thought to have it happen that way, though.
Right? It would be nice. You just say laying there and you're like, "Whoa, what's happening here? Oh my god!" And you just explode out of your
Right.
penis or vagina, whatever you have. And if you have both, you probably explode double as much.
Jesus.
Uh, yeah, that's fun. Because yeah, I always talk about death, and honestly, I love death. Just the idea of death, because it is a mystery, and it gets a bad rap. Because yeah, there's just so much fear surrounding it, because again, it's the unknown. And like,
Yeah.
and I know you and I, we kind of live in the unknown. We don't plan for tomorrow. Things just happen, and you just kind of go with the flow. And the unknown has produced, yeah, amazing stories, amazing people, interesting things that come to you, and you're like, dang, dude, I never imagined this to be
I
true.
never would have met you if you hadn't been able to embrace unknown. Like, so I don't know if you guys know this, but this guy did his first show with me. Literally walked into the audition with no preparation, no nothing. Honestly, we as actors hate him because he just gets cast. But he just walks in and goes, "I want to do a show." And our director was like, "Okay, what was it? Sing Happy
Yeah,
Birthday."
sing happy birthday. I told him, I was like, I've never even seen a musical, honestly.
And so he just like comes in, takes an ensemble role, and just kills it. Like plays the thing. Uh, because he just decided to take a jump and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try this. This will be fun."
Yeah. And honestly, it was the greatest fun I've ever had. And you all have revitalized this love of dance and acceptance of dance in my own life. Now I'm just like I've always danced, but I felt like it was hidden. And since doing Rocky Horror, I'm just like fucking flailing everywhere and just really feeling that movement and just
Sure.
saying, man, this is powerful.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, dude. Yeah, let's talk about Rocky Horror. Tell me, because you're the lead, obviously, or one of the leads. You're Rocky. Can you tell me how you got ready for that? I wanna hear your like regime for it, because you freaking buffed out.
Yeah. That was hard. Um, so back in another life, I used to be a bodybuilder. Back in my youth. Because a friend of mine. So I was training for. What was I training for? I was training for my first triathlon,
Mm.
and I was running one day, and a guy was watching me run, and he was just like, "Man, you're going at it." And I mean, this dude was jacked. He's a big dude. Turned into one of my best friends, but I made a deal with him because I didn't know anything about lifting,
Mm.
and he didn't know anything about swimming. So he found out I was doing this triathlon, and I told him. And in high school, I was water polo, played water polo, and was a state swimmer and all that kind of stuff. So I knew a lot about swimming, and I made a deal with him that if he taught me to lift, I would teach him to swim. And that sparked a long journey to where he opened a fitness company and asked me to rep his fitness company in a bodybuilding competition. And so I did. My first and only actual bodybuilding competition was the Washington State Open. And I was at the time ranked 8th in the state after that competition. Uh, Fast forward to theater years and years later, those pictures of and reputation have followed me. Uh, and so my buddy Chris, the director of Rocky, came to me and was like, "Hey, what do you think about playing Rocky?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know, man." He's like, "Well, we know you can get in shape for it." I was like, "You know how much work that is?" He goes, "Yeah, I believe in you. Come to the audition." And so I kind of phoned in the audition because I didn't really want to do it because I knew how much work was on the plate. He gave me 4 months to get in shape. So I worked out 4 hours a day for 4 months, every single day. Um, got myself down below 3% body fat for the show. Uh, I don't know if you knew this, but the final dress rehearsal night before we opened, I almost passed out on stage because I was so depleted. And Chris comes to me and he's like, "Hey, this isn't a bodybuilding show. You don't have to be that depleted. You need to, you know, do a little less." I was like, "Oh, you tell me that now. Thanks, buddy." um, so but yeah, it was 4 hours a day of my old bodybuilding routine,
Hmm.
my old bodybuilding diet, real strict stuff, completely clean. I don't do any sort of um, steroid supplementation, things like that. I try to do it as natural as possible. And yeah, it was. I ended up going on stage opening night at 195 pounds at less than 3% body fat, and held that for what we run 3 4 weeks,
Yeah, it was
and
hot.
then yeah, and then after that I was just like, okay, time to take a break. So maintained a level of fitness, but that's a lifestyle that is very, very hard to maintain. And I
Hmm.
hats off to the professionals who do it, but
Hmm.
it's not for me as a true lifestyle. I'll do it for any show
Hmm.
for a short period of time, but I don't like it. Don't like it for the long haul.
Amen. Amen. There's a lot that goes into it to just. There's a lot of sacrifices because yeah, I mean, even you were saying go out and anytime somebody invites you out, go out and have fun. And I
Yeah.
remember there was times where you're just like, listen, I can't do this. Like I can't drink or I can't eat or blah 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 blah. I gotta do this show. Show comes number one.
Yep. Can't have any booze. You can't eat the good food. And how do people usually interact? They go to a bar and they get food and drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So the gym lifestyle, the true gym rats, it's a pretty lonely lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got their dedication to it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And to be at the competitive level, the truly competitive
Mm-hmm.
level, you got to give up a lot. And it's hard for other people to understand because they see how you look right now and they think it happened overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you look great. One drink isn't going to kill you, or one burger is not going to kill you. It's like, well,
Yeah.
actually
Mm-hmm.
it can mess up your results pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, man. Like, dang, it's a lifestyle that's, yeah, I respect deeply, and like that's why I find women who like exercise regularly so beautiful, because
Mm.
it is such a dedication, and it's such a commitment to the betterment of yourself. It doesn't matter what you choose, but if you're there every day, and you're just like committing to yourself, to health, to being
Mm-hmm.
better, you're like, that is sexy, because it's a reflective of a mindset.
I enjoy fitness. I like staying,
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, in enough shape to where I can do anything I'm asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
But everything has to happen in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not moderation to be stage ready bodybuilder status. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, there is no way to do that in moderation. You go all out for it, or you won't win.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to be
Amen.
what you're supposed to be.
It's that balance, because I've played with extremes in my own life, fasting, diets, whatever else I do. You just kind of jump into it and sit in it, and yeah, it's never sustainable, because you do need to have a life. And I still practice fasting from time to time, but I remember even just like during the show, like just fasting through the entire weekend, and it was
No,
fine, but man, it was hard.
it's hard.
So in that case, maybe if I were to do it again, I'd be like, maybe during the show I might not fast, because I'd rather be full
Well,
on.
your brain is what, like, it's majority fat.
Oh yeah.
So when you're fasting, you become, or if you're down below 3% body fat and things like that, you become kind of dumb. It's where the meathead ideal comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's for a short period of time. You eat something good, get some sugars back into you, and you're back. But for a little bit, it's hard to form sentences, and it's hard to put together thoughts. So you just kind of sit there and float. Like, I remember my first bodybuilding show. I was working sales as my actual job, and my boss came up to me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was leaning against the counter, going, "Huh? What are you talking about?" It's like, "Are you sick?" I'm like, "No, my show's tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, just dehydrated and like I couldn't finish sentences."
That water, man. Oh,
Oh
that
God.
water. I love water too much.
Ooh.
It's the
That's
best.
part of it is getting rid of the water under your skin. And
Mm.
I tell everybody that those magazine covers and guys that are on stage on the actual bodybuilding shows, it's unmaintainable truly because they're dehydrated. They dehydrated down for that show, so they only look that way for a couple of hours.
Mm.
And then they drink a glass of water and they fill out just a little bit with that hard, saran wrapped around the skin, kind of everything super, super tight.
Mm.
That only happens for a couple hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough for the photo shoot or just enough for your stage show.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to drink water or you're going to die. You have to eat something or you're going to die. So.
And that's a beautiful idea to share with the world, honestly, because in a place where we think these are just the standards, Instagram models and whatever, we think like these people exist like this in this state, and then you feel shame about your little love handles or whatever you have, instead of just appreciating yourself for who you are. Yeah, it's like knowing that, hey, see this is just a snapshot, 2 hours, 1 hour, maybe even less. It's just a picture, boop, and then they go back to being regular humans. Just.
I mean, there's people who look shredded all the time, but I'm talking that magazine cover level, that kind of thing. That's a couple hours.
Amen. And yeah, I respect, like, physically speaking, you can look like whatever. If you can do something like a physical feat, I will respect that. You can be a normal size, muscles, all that stuff, but you do something that's just incredible. Like,
Oh,
I've been watching a lot of acrobatics and
oh
just like,
yes,
stuff you can do with your own body. It's like, dang, dude, you can do stuff.
yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, I think someone just beat Eddie Hall's deadlift record like a week ago.
Yeah.
Um, and you watch that stuff; those guys are insane. Lifted 1,000 pounds off the ground with nothing but their legs and their back. They just, "Whoop, what's up?" And ah, mad respect to those dudes.
I got it,
And the fact that it keeps going, the record keeps climbing. Like, when is the limit of human potential? When is it gonna happen?
dude.
There's got to be a stopping point to these guys.
I don't know. I especially give evolution long enough, and you continue to put evolutionary pressures onto the body will always acclimate, So maybe it won't happen in this lifetime, but I think incrementally, today's 1,000, tomorrow's 1,001, in 10 years maybe 1,010, maybe in 20 years it's 1,050, whatever. You keep pushing it, and the body will respond,
Oh yeah,
and then maybe one day we'll all just be giants.
yeah, yeah.
Because these weightlifters, man. Like, I got a buddy who's a weightlifter, and like, dang, like, it's incredible just to watch this. The routines, the mentality that's behind it, also. Because there's a physicality about it. You go in there and you pump weights, but there's so much in the mind. First of all, just the discipline, but second of all, even like a routine, a schedule that you need to do it, with forethought. You just don't go out there and just swing weights. You have to do it in a right way. So, like, I respect that so much.
Oh yeah, there's definitely technique and everything.
Mm-hmm. Which,
Guys,
thank you for showing me some, because I've been doing my back a little bit more.
yeah, getting your back going.
Getting back into the back. This
Right.
Corona, man, just
Oh God, I can't wait for the gyms to open back up.
yeah. I remember, like, things were getting better with my neck and back when I was going and working on it with the proper technique that you showed me, and then Corona hit, and then just kind of everything just crumbled. Like, and I'm like the king of discipline, and then everything just kind of faded away, and I found myself just kind of floating in nothing. I was like, what the hell's going on? I even didn't brush my teeth for like 3 days at once, and I was like, how did this happen?
Well, my biggest thing during Corona is I found myself slipping into I'll do it tomorrow. Because right now that's kind of what we have. It's like, man, don't really have to do anything right now, so I don't want to. And I was slipping into that, and so I've kind of actively gone very heavily the other way of oh, today I'm going to go for a 20-mile walk just cuz. Or I'll build a garden just cuz. You got to do something.
Amen. Amen. Even if it's one thing, just do something. I completely agree.
Yep. Something's better than nothing, always.
Always. If we'll wrap up so we can go outside and do some building. But do you have anything to leave for the listeners? Maybe some ideas that you want to leave. Maybe a way to contact you about your knives, or anything that you want to promote, whatever it may be.
If you want to check out some of my knives, check out my Instagram of #EdgeByMesford. Everything I do is by word of mouth. And if you want a knife, just contact me and we'll do some bespoke stuff. I want to leave you with, try to support your arts through this, whether it's buy your buddy's paintings or go to it, support a theater. Just tell them you're still thinking about them and can't wait for them to open back up, because right now a lot of the theaters are really hurting and really worried. So get out there and show the entertainment business that they're not going to be dead. They're still alive.
Amen. That's perfect. And I'll try to dig up maybe even some place that we can donate to. I don't know, like a theater pool, or just even a specific theater, maybe here in Washington.
Yeah, look up Tacoma Little Theater. They've got a bunch of shows that are on hold. Auburn Community Playhouse, Tacoma Musical Playhouse. They all had to cancel their seasons, and they're struggling with how they're going to bring them back. So give them some love.
Amen. We'll put the links down there, and hopefully send the army to support the freaking theater, because we do need it. It is one of the greatest ways of connection, like for the actors and for the audience, and it's just a really deep form of communication, you know, and art. So yeah, I just found it. I don't want to lose it. I
Yeah,
love theater too much. I hope that it stays forever. I'd rather lose TV before I lose theater, honestly.
same.
Oh, look at that birdie. All right. Well, Derek, thank you for being here and thank you for sticking around and sharing some of your beautifulness. I definitely hope to see you soon and hang out and maybe show you some of my tools, baby. You know,
That's,
maybe fling some paint around, you know. Oh, maybe dig
that'd
a
be
little bit.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I've had such a pleasure. And you know what? Yeah, we'll be seeing you soon, baby boy. And I'm going to turn off the thing. Thank you, listeners. I love you guys. Your face makes me joyous. Goodbye.